Day one, we used to wake up and, pause.
Friends, we now know why Kevin Hart said he regrets responding to Cat Williams following his bombshell interview on Club Shay Shay, where he exposed all Hollywood without holding back. It does not look good for Kevin Hart, and we are about to break everything down for you. If you are new to this channel, consider subscribing for more piping hot celebrity gossip news, highlights of sports, world news, and much more. Here is the tea. Are y'all ready for this? In 2017, Kevin Hart cheats on his wife with some woman named Montia Sabag, also known as Morgan. This was made public in the most explosive way, constituting the most explosive scandal of that year. Kevin Hart later recognized his wrongdoing, apologized to his wife Eniko Hart, and blames the cheating on MDMA, aka pills, aka substances. He also would blame his longtime friend of over 15 years, JT Jackson, of setting him up. JT Jackson, through many sources, aka YouTuber Tasha K, would reveal that never happened. Jackson would explain that he was simply a collateral in that scandal because Kevin Hart's company needed to do some damage control to clean up his image, and it did work. The industry frowned upon JT Jackson for years, allegedly. He was unable to bounce back from the scandal. He couldn't get work in Hollywood anymore. By the way, if you are ready to sacrifice your friend of 15 years plus, somebody you consider a brother, to save yourself, it does say everything about you. And that's what Kevin Hart did. Also, not only JT Jackson confided Tasha K of the real story behind the scandal, but Kevin Hart's assistant Maisha also backed JT Jackson's version with facts. Shout out to those who take risks to speak their truth, about big names and brands. It takes courage. We can only imagine what these people go through behind closed doors once they decide to no longer protect the liars and the abusers. Back to the story. Once JT Jackson was framed, he was arrested in 2018 and charged with multiple felony extortion counts, but the charges were dropped in 2021. Jackson then sues Kevin Hart in July 2024 for $12 million in damages, accusing him of breach of written contract, fraud, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Basically, Jackson is saying the Jumanji star breached their private accord they agreed on in July 2021 timeframe, which stipulated, and we are paraphrasing here, which stipulated that Kevin Hart would issue a meaningful public apology with a specific verbiage declaring Jackson innocent of any wrongdoing or accusations thereof related to the highly publicized scandal. This, according to Jackson, would have exonerated him and allowed him to clear his name in the industry. Because this was not done, Jackson claims that he has suffered financial hardships because he has not been able to find work, acting roles due to the scandal. Jackson, in his suit, requested a trial in Los Angeles County Superior Court. And we'll tell you why this piece of information is very important. Kevin Hart did speak on the case in October 2021, but the statements he put out did not declare Jackson innocent of all wrongdoings. It only said that Jackson was not found guilty, that the charges were dropped, and that their friendship has been lost. More like a political way of speaking on the case. According to Jackson, Kevin Hart's statement have not cleared his name and restored his reputation, because JT Jackson wanted something a little bit more sincere, clearing his name and allowing him to be able to function without anybody looking at him upside down. Fast forward to recent days. This week, In Touch Weekly reported that Kevin Hart's company is requesting the lawsuit between him and the former friend JT Jackson be removed away from the public. The reason is because there was a prior provision stating that the dispute over this scandal be done in arbitration, and this as per their first written agreement, which Kevin Hart failed to deliver in 2021. Kevin Hart's company is saying, well, JT agreed to discussing this case in arbitration first time around. He cannot request it be done otherwise this time around in 2024. Well, here's us 2 cents. If the agreement that they had in 2021 did not honor what was said in the written contract, why should JT be obliged to hold his end of the bargain and accept arbitration when Kevin Hart didn't really put out the statement with the words that they've agreed upon the first time in October 2021? So then, based on these facts, again, this is our 2 cents. Based on these facts, JT Jackson does not owe anything to Kevin Hart, and he should do as he sees fits his situation. Kevin Hart's legal team is now pushing back on JT Jackson's claim, and because they do not want to go to trial. And we all know why this should not go to trial. If it does, a lot of skeletons will come out. Most of it very damaging to Kevin Hart's brand. So damaging it could end his career, maybe send him away. And the reason why we're saying this is because Kevin Hart, we don't know the guy, but he seems to be a very decent human being. He tries not to have issues with anybody in the industry. All he wants to do is make money, make people laugh, and look after his family. However, like every person, we all have flaws. And Kevin Hart's flaw is women. And so if this case goes to trial, there might be some women coming out saying XYZ. And it will be hard, as you know it, for him to defend himself because of the climate that we're in. We see how Diddy's trial is currently going, and it does not look good for him. Who knows? If Kevin Hart has partied with Diddy, and we mean party with Diddy or not, allegedly. We don't know. And it's best Kevin Hart cleans up his affairs and does right by JT Jackson if all his discoveries happen to be true. And this is also why Kevin Hart says he regrets responding to Cat Williams. It's his way of making sure he has no issues with anyone in the industry, because if he does, he puts a target on his back, meaning anybody that sees him as his enemy and vice versa could actually use the information they have about him to sully his image and therefore ruin his brand. And in the case of Kevin Hart, again, because he loves women and he's had several encounterings with women, he might get the Diddy treatment at some point. And we don't wish that on him. Nobody right now wants to be in Diddy's shoes. And we mean nobody.
Day one, we used to wake up and, pause.
For you to understand the gravity of the scandal and the reason why Kevin Hart went out of his way to sacrifice his friend, allegedly, is this. The scandal was a publicized scandal involving Kevin Hart and another woman in a hotel room, and you can only imagine what happened then. The incident happened in Las Vegas. No words on who planted the cameras. And this is why this could have ended Kevin Hart's career had he not done what he has done, allegedly. Number one, Morgan, the woman that Kevin Hart was creeping with, is not Kevin Hart's wife. His real wife right now is Eniko Hart, who also allegedly happened to be the other woman in Kevin Hart's life when he was married to his first wife, Tori Hart, who now goes by Tori Skipper. But this is a whole different topic for a different day. The second reason is that Kevin Hart's brand is a family and kids based brand. As a role model for families and kids, thou shalt not live a reckless life. And there are other reasons why Kevin Hart did what he did to protect himself. So Hart's team chose to release arsenals to clean up his image following the scandal. The arsenal used was the sacrifice, and we're putting the emphasis on the word sacrifice. Sacrifice a friend. And we know in Hollywood, there's been a lot of sacrifice of things, people, and we'll spare you from the rest. This gives you an idea of how Hollywood can perverse the mind. All this because there is a lot of companies invested in Kevin Hart's brand, and saving those companies was a priority. The priority wasn't preserving your family, preserving your friends, preserving your core support team. Priority was to preserve the brand. It's always about money, money, and more money. Till this day, we'll still don't know who set those cameras in the Las Vegas room, who's after Kevin Hart. We have no idea. Let us know what you think about this story. Do you think JT Jackson is telling the truth? Was he really sacrificed in this scandal? What do you think of Kevin Hart's character if all of this happens to be true? And do you think this case will end up in arbitration, or do you think it will go to trial? Until then, we love you for watching as always, and we will see you in the next video. Bye for now.